work, I'll explain. So typically when I have my newborns, I'll breastfeed anywhere from like 10 to 15 times a day. And depending if like they're going through a growth spurt and they're cluster feeding, I'll breastfeed every hour through the night until they're about like 2, 3 months old. Then I'll breastfeed anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours a night. And it is a lot of work because what happens is, let's just say I had bottles, right? And I was using bottles, which would be amazing if my kids would take bottles, but they don't, because they will projectile vomit if they take a bottle. It's the craziest thing. I've tried for all of my children and it just doesn't work. Luckily, Sivana has not vomited yet, but I think it's just because I figured that out and I've just been nursing, just like consistently nursing. But anyways, what I was gonna say is, with the bottles, let's just say I was breastfeeding and bottle feeding through the night and having my husband help me through the night, I would still have to wake up at that same time to pump. So then, just to keep my supply up, and then I would pump and then I would have extra milk. And I'm not like a big storing person. Like, I don't really store my milk. And I just don't find the need to, because in the past when I was breastfeeding, that was all my baby took. They wouldn't take bottles. So it's like so much work. But honestly, it's so worth it. And I don't mind, because I just feel like it's such a like bonding experience, and you only get to do that for a short period, and then they grow up and then they don't need it anymore. So today when I was gone for the 2 hours and a half, I actually forgot my pump because I left so fast. And while I was in the salon, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm today. So yep, that's it. This is such a good question. So my milk never comes in until day 5. I don't know what it is about day 5, but day 5 is when it starts to come through. And what I do from the day the baby's born until that 5th day is I just pump as much as I can, as if the baby was drinking my milk. And that's worked for me. But what happens is, because I don't have enough to give the baby those first couple of days, baby's starving, right? Baby wants milk. I have to give formula. And so I'll show you guys what formula I use, where I use this time, because 6 years ago it was a different story. But I'll show you guys what I use. This is German company that I found, and I got their formula, and I just figured like the first couple of days were going to be difficult because I'm bleeding, I'm cracking, I'm bruised, I'm sore, I'm in so much pain. Literally, that happens every single time, and it never fails. I also got mastitis, which is like an infection where you have like clogged ducts. So I had to have help this time around to get those ducts, those channels open. But yeah, for the first couple of days, definitely do formula. It feeds the baby, it makes baby happy, like their tummies are filled, and they can finally sleep. Otherwise, you're just gonna be there like, I don't know what to do, and it's so hard. But I'm past that stage, hallelujah. Now I'm not in no pain, which is so crazy because you're in so much pain in the beginning. And now I'm like, I don't feel anything. Like, this is so amazing. Like, God really made us so perfect. Yes. 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 So weaning is also a different story. So weaning is different for every child. I feel like every child is going to experience it differently. And then like mom is also going to be a different stage of her life where she's like ready or maybe not as ready. So really is like a mental thing. Like, you got to really decide like, okay, I'm done breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is almost easier when you've been doing it for so long. And then the journey of like drying up your milk is also painful, right? So you may have mastitis and the infect. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's just crazy. But for example, with Elle and Steele, I breastfed them for 2 years, and I was ready. I was done. I was over it. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So what I did with Elle specifically is there was like, remember those masks, those like black masks that you would put in your face and then you would like peel off? So I put that on my nipples, and I just told her that my milk went bad. She was like, and she was like very visual at that time, 2 years old. And she was like, oh, okay. So she understood the assignment. With Steele, he was kind of just ready, and I just started like, I was just ready and he was ready, I think. With Alea was different because I got pregnant when she was 1, and so my milk started to taste different. This is something that I learned more recently, is she was actually ready to stop breastfeeding at 1 because I was pregnant, so my hormones were different. and I think the milk started to taste different. So we were done. So we weaned her off really quickly. And I use like the cabbage and stuff to dry my milk and stuff. But honestly, it's just gonna be different for every kid. I don't know. So funny because I've had so many people ask me how you pronounce her name, and it's literally just pronounced exactly how it's spelled. So Sea, like the ocean, and then Vanna, like kind of like Anna, but with a V. So Vanna. But yeah, I've seen like a lot of people ask me like, oh, how do you pronounce it? Is it like this? And they're spelling it another way, and I'm just like, no, it's literally just pronounced exactly how it's spelled. Well, I have tried every single bottle you can think of. Like, you know what, like I'm even getting ads about bottles because I've been searching bottles so many times, and I've just ordered every kind of bottle, and no, I don't know, they just don't work. I don't know, it's the craziest thing. Oh my god, thank you. Okay, so when it comes to my makeup routine, I have been doing pretty much the same thing for so many years. I've just kind of perfected it. But what I will say is what changed the game for me is, I want to say in the last couple of years, it hasn't even been that long, I've really started to embrace my natural skin tone. So I think by doing so, I haven't used a ton of bronzer and a ton of like just products that I don't need. And then also using like my true foundation. And I think that has really changed the game for me. Another thing is just like really great skincare and like making it super simple and just using things that work for me. Also, and I say this a lot, is like taking care of yourself, taking your vitamins, drinking a lot of water, thinking positive thoughts, being happy, grounding, all those kinds of things will make your skin glow, and that'll affect your makeup. But I will do another routine soon. But I do really want to say that like what's really helped me and making my skin look how I want it to look and look like better is just me accepting my my natural skin tone, because I am very, you guys know, I'm like very olivey, but when I'm not in the sun, then I kind of lose that like tan, you know, and I tend to look more fair, which I really accepted. And so I really do love, and you guys know me, like in the early YouTube days, like I used to wear a lot of bronzer and it was not for me. Thank you. I really do like this color. I feel like what got a lot of bronzer and it was Thank you. I really do like this color. I feel like what got me to this color this time is I didn't dye my hair for almost a year. So my entire pregnancy, I didn't like do anything to my roots. I just let my hair grow out, and I only did like color washes, which are like semi-permanent or like not permanent at all. So what I asked for was to get my roots to a color that I can like really like maintain. So I asked for like a warm chocolate brown, and it looks different in like different lighting. Like right now it looks a little darker, but then I also got some highlights in my hair, and they're called Air Touch highlights. So she did that, and then you see my roots, they're pretty dark, and it's pretty like easy to maintain. I still don't have grays yet, so hopefully I don't get grays anytime soon. My mom and my dad started getting grays in their 50s, so hopefully I have their genes. Yeah, I think for every mother and baby, it's just like their own unique story. So some women, they give birth and they don't even have any colostrum coming out, which can be really difficult for a mom, you know, especially when the baby's hungry and all they want to do is rest, but they can't because they're so hungry. And so you kind of have to go with what you have. So sometimes women use formula. Sometimes women get donation milk from women who are breastfeeding. There's just like no right or wrong. For me, I don't have my milk come in until day 5, and I have very little colostrum coming out. And what happens is, because I'm like really genuinely trying to feed my baby and not go the formula route, what happens is I'll have like dried blood on my nipples, and it'll like stop the milk from coming out. So it'll be like a slit of like dried blood, and it's really painful. And specifically because my baby, and actually 2 of my kids, have been tongue-tied, and so it makes it a lot more difficult for the baby to latch. So everyone's journey is so different. But yeah, I use formula for the first couple weeks, and then I exclusively breastfeed. And honestly, like every journey is so perfect. Like there are women that I know that have exclusively formula fed, and their babies are perfect and healthy, and you know, every journey is so perfect, I think, in my opinion.